This Muslim woman destroys the LGBT agenda in 2 minutes.
I want to address the board on the issue of opt-out. I firstly want to acknowledge, like Sister Hussein did, that today is the day of Arafah. It's the holiest day of the year for Muslims, and many of us are fasting, yet we came out to stand in the rain and to voice our concerns, because for us this is genuinely an issue of faith, not hate. And we reject the implication that acting on our faith's principles is a willful means of harming others. In fact, we see it as a point of bigotry that some only care for our community and will only protect our rights when we assimilate to their way of life and ways of thinking. Just like it's a point of bigotry when some refuse our women's right to wear hijab and to pray, condemning us for our views on this issue is in itself another act of bigotry like the ones Muslims and immigrants have faced in this country for years.
Muslims are not afraid to be cancelled when it comes to following their faith, because we know that this life is temporary while the hereafter is eternal. People in the West are being forced to follow certain agenda, whether it's against their faith or not. In the West, certain people can mock Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, and Christians cannot do anything. While in a Muslim country, you're not allowed to insult any religion, and if you do so, you will face legal actions.
The same religion that causes Muslims to care about environmental justice, food insecurity, or ending anti-black racism is the same religion that causes us to care about this issue. Our faith is not partisan, and our people are not backwards.
It is crazy to me to hear many Western people say that we are backwards, yet they don't see the development happening in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. These countries have invested many of their money into its people and infrastructure to create a better future. The Middle East is generally less corrupted than the West. African countries contain billions worth of natural resources, but the reason you don't see the development like in the Middle East because they have corrupted leaders, and most of these countries are led by non-Muslims.
Part of the American dream of our people is that they pass on their values to their children. But members of this school board have mocked our values and have said we cannot be allowed to opt our children out precisely because they want to end that dream. Our constitutional right to religious freedom and to raise our children precisely protects that dream. Many of our families don't have much of a choice whether to place their children in this public setting. So we ask that we at least have a choice for our children not to be forced to participate in celebrating or normalizing views that contradict our religion. These children will learn about same-sex couples and trans-identifying people, whether they learn these things in school or not. And the conversations that they will have with these members of our community will serve as education on these matters later in their lives. But we're asking that our children not be strong-armed at such a young age into believing certain ideas about gender and sexuality, or that the school system insist on turning our children against the religious values.
This woman presented a well-articulate speech about the insanity that's happening in the West. There has to be a change. She's not forcing any religious belief into anyone, however, she's requesting for the children to be protected. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.